You didn't.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
All he heard about was mom sex, and that was all the only thing he caught.
Oh boy.
Oh, why won't this paste? Facebook Messenger, if you sort of look at it the wrong way, it stops letting you paste things into chats.
Facebook
Or maybe it's just telling.
in Mozilla has been having a heart attack lately for me.
Okay. I've got to close it. That is an impressive beard, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I feel somewhat beardless almost in comparison.
Makes me feel like less of a man, to be honest with you. Like.
Hello, Pat.
Hey, the gang's all here. Again, another impressive. Like, am I allowed to be Canadian if I have a beard like this compared to you guys?
Well, it doesn't survive the winter.
Am I breaking any sort of provincial or federal law?
You've probably you'll probably have to apologize profusely.
Yeah.
To make up for it.
While enjoying some maple syrup.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hola.
Are y'all in the same room?
No.
Give us a minute. Now we're not.
Cool.
There we go.
Oh,
Seems like
crap, I have to come up with a one-liner, don't I?
You can.
I don't know, maybe you guys needed so much beard power you outsourced to Canada?
I kind of like that.
Yeah. Or we wanted hair on the cast for a change. Both beard and up here. I've been carrying the cast for what the last while. Does Mike have hair? I don't remember. Have to go back and look at some of the
Matt used to
episodes.
have a fantastic beard, and then he was requested politely by his fiance at the time to shave it off before the wedding or die. So
what you're saying is there was some kind of hair recession going on?
Right.
Okay, so you guys just keep rambling. I've got to fix all the stuff I broke by changing something in OBS.
Okay, ramble.
So Dan, our producer, editor, whatever Dan is, he's the man that makes it happen between him and Fraser. He's asked us to watch our mic control, which is code for make sure you do loud typing, make sure you turn a fan on, do whatever you can to make this easy for Dan by making it hard for Dan.
Because he'll love you for it. And usually in some sort of violence being inflicted, I'm sure.
That's a true story. Well, I don't know if you guys can see me, but you'll notice in the background there some really cool looking cases.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why did I lose all my audio?
Can you not hear me?
So I hear the Hangout stuff is doing exactly what it's supposed to, but for some reason OBS is just being a pain and not doing any of the stuff I would expect it to right now. So, okay, so there we go. We got audio there. And...
Ooh, an Eevee, hold on.
Oh, really?
I'm just kidding. It was funny, though.
I don't know what I missed, but I'm guessing it was at my expense.
No, it was a Pokemon reference. Unless you're really a Pokemon, which may explain some of the beard.
Pat used growth?
Which Pokemon is that? Beardymon?
Mr. Mime? No, Mr. Mime doesn't have a beard, does he? Who has a beard?
Which episode are we on? Fraser?
Of Pokemon? I think it's like 600 and something.
No!
Well, it depends. Are we in Kanto?
No, but we did... Jeez. Oh, boy. So we did change the name of our Facebook group to Scrummymon Cast Go. Used to be Scrumcast, but...
At this point, I think it's getting to be more Scruffcast Go.
Yeah, very, very true. If I had known I was going to be up against you guys, I wouldn't have trimmed yet on the weekend. So I would have been at least a little bit bushier.
So is it bad to mention I did trim up for this a little?
Damn you. Damn you, sir.
Oh,
I also had my hair cut before I went away last weekend.
where did his video go?
I think he turned off his camera.
What?
Come
Sorry.
on, Corey. Share the magnificent hippie beard.
Hey,
Hold on.
if
Or
we're
the
gonna
beard.
worry your stuff out
Is that
on
better?
Facebook or whatever we're doing, YouTube.
There we go.
There we go.
I thought the beard broke the internet.
I'm really not that good with technology. I am in my 40s.
I think it's
That's
cute
no
that you.
excuse.
How far into your 40s are you? Because you're not very far ahead of us.
I'm only 41. I'm 41 this November,
Oh, gads, you're 3.5 years older than I am.
which by
You
default
got-
makes me old.
No, you
Oh.
guys are all pups.
I'm not going to argue that one.
This should explain why we have so much trouble getting the recording going and getting the audio going.
Boy, you guys got to have your prune break?
That's it. You realize all the technology is me. These guys don't do any of this crap.
Hey, we,
I'm the one that dragged them into streaming, kicking and screaming. So
Yeah, what else is new? Canada always makes the technology part that works.
that's true.
yeah, then we sit on it forever and it gets sucky.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw
Don't
on
get
the
me
stream. So
started.
we're gonna go start streaming to Twitch as part of the pre-show. So this is where people are gonna be excited to see all the background stuff, and there'll be like one person watching. But we'll see.
Last time I told a bad joke and we lost half our viewers like in one click. It was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but with Gordis not here this time, we'll gain half of them back.
Hey, well he is pretty, so he's one of the prettier ones. So, so agenda. I know we talked about it, and I copy and pasted it. It's on.
Yeah,
here
and
somewhere.
I wrote a few notes.
No, just get out.
Freak,
Please,
yeah.
down.
Man, you're
too
so much
prepared.
more prepared than we are.
I won't have professionalism or competency on my podcast.
I wrote them down while I was waiting for my ride to let me in the building, so... Corey.
Oh, let's see.
It's not my fault. I drive slow. I'm old.
That's why you made it back from...
now.
That's why you made it back from lock and load in like 4 hours?
GPS said it was 4 hours of drive. I swear.
Where do you live, Ontario?
Kamloops, BC, Canada,
Oh,
which is
okay.
about 5.5 hours from Seattle.
Gotcha. Well, my sister lives in Surrey, so I've got a general idea of where that is. So.
Yep, 3 hours past on the Coquihalla.
Ah, gotcha.
See, that's how you know you're Canadian, when they start saying words like that sound like they should be from Finland.
Thanks. Now
Like-
you've offended all of our Finnish viewers.
Yeah, what,
You mean
all
like the
two of them?
Kamloops?
We have Finnish readers?
Not anymore.
As I say. Thanks, Dallas.
Half our listenership. I just alienated them all. Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. They're all finished.
Oh, see, he should do the opening. That's a Goris quality joke.
I know. I'm using the outsourcing the beard thing.
So again, to reaffirm what Dallas said about mic control, if you guys can throw yourself on mute when you're not talking, and usually if we're going to throw it to one of you, we'll say your name before we throw it to you, so you have time to unmute. At least that's what Goris does. So I don't know if Dallas is going to do that.
I just dive in. I just talk over everybody and dive in. It pisses off.
You're a little echoey on my side, Dallas. I don't know if are you on Wi-Fi or are you wired?
I am wired.
Okay. Because I don't know if anyone else is hearing that, but you sound a little choppy.
Let me reset.
Sounding okay on our end. Well, what about you, Corey? You do need to unmute now and then, Corey.
This is technology. I told you I am old.
Let me close some windows and. You know.
It was
what I
only a
should
little
do?
bit, but it just had it a couple times.
Well, my Firefox has been acting weird. Let me reopen in Chrome. I'll be right back.
Might want to evolve it then.
It was a good Pokemon joke, completely ignored.
What is Pokemon?
Animal cruelty made popular for kids.
Yep.
Sweet. Is that why I should let my kid play it?
Of course. I used to, back in the late 90s, I used to co-own a Japanese animation distribution company in Toronto, so we sold to all the stores out and across Canada. And I had to fight tooth and nail with these guys to take any of the Pokemon merchandise the summer before it got big. And people just went, no, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. A few guys took it, and they were so grateful because he said, I'm the only one in my city or my province that has this stuff. Yeah. And we made a crap ton of cash on that stuff.
Good call on that one.
A Japanese importer that brought in it, and it was all because it was done the trend in Japan, so they had all the remainder stuff, so we were picking up the stuffies and all the licensed stuff from Japan for just dirt cheap, and it was huge. So yeah, it was Pokemon made us a lot of money in the 90s.
Yay, animal cruelty.
Woohoo! Well, they're not really animals, right? They're magical creatures. And Dallas looks confused.
I'm looking at their Kickstarter page.
Okay. So I do have the video. Now I have to admit, this is kind of a sketchy way of doing it. I've got a YouTube window ready to go up that'll play the video. But because I wasn't able to download it, and I didn't think to ask you to send me a link so I could download it, I can't play it directly in OBS, but I can play it on my desktop. That'll push it out through, through OBS.
One thing I did notice is the sound is fairly quiet, so I might need to turn it up a bit. I don't know if you want to do a test run now, just so they can hear Corey okay?
Yeah, you got 4 minutes.
Well, that's how long the video is. Do you want to throw the video on now and just play through that?
No, do whatever you want. I don't care.
It's up to you guys. I mean, hey, ask Corey. It's his video.
So we can still talk over it. I just have to. Actually, no, we can't because I'd have to mute all
the video is actually about 3 minutes long, and then there's like a minute at the end where they're just showing clips of the different types of cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, or we can do it at the end, either one. Or we can get Danny just to slice in some of the content from there.
Doesn't matter to me.
The audio wizard that he is.
Doesn't matter to me. We're going to talk about their cases a lot because that's why they're on. So.
Well, do you want?
I'm okay talking about trolls. They are my favorite faction.
See,
awesome. That's what
we're offended that you play other factions, just so you know.
Well, what can I say, Dallas? If that conversation earlier on Facebook didn't tell you, I bring enough troll to make up for it.
All right.
And so someone has to call him out that he had. Take a look at the symbol on the backs of the one on his behind him. Here, I'll even make everyone look at him so he can see it.
You mean the Merc one? I already knew, but I wasn't going to bring that up.
Oh no, I'll make sure you call. I'll flip it around. Flip. There you go. See?
Yeah, isn't that for boom howlers, right? Because they have a sword and a hand cannon.
That's the way it's going to be, right? You're just
Here
going to defend him.
Did I show you guys how good vinyl looks on your cases? Look at vinyl on your cases. Look at how hot that is. I'm just saying.
It does look really good.
It does.
Let's turn that around.
Hide the evidence.
Whew.
See, he's all nervous now because he's the only American left here.
I thought one of you wasn't Canadian.
No, we're both Canadian.
Oh, jeez. Do I have to talk slower for you guys?
No, I was born in Ontario.
Oh, all right. I know a little French. Any of you from that side?
No.
Do we look like we've separated?
No.
Wow, that's a nice throwback to 1995.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so
just get all those out before the podcast starts.
Yep. Before we start, we'll go through games played. I don't think we have any news. The errata came out, but do we want to cover any of the errata stuff, like the how Assault or Mountain King lost Gunfighter?
I think so. So I'll do the introduction, and then we'll do a little bit of news, and then we'll talk. I like Matt's What's on Your Painting Table, so we'll go into What's on Your Painting Table, and then we'll go into their cases, and we'll let them spend as much time as they want on the cases. And then I think we touch on the errata and then do some List Dojo. Or I'll rely on you to go on Facebook and let us actually address what we asked people to talk about.
Well, we didn't ask anyone this time, but there was one of the guys that reached out he had a Grim 2 list that he wanted, but I think you said you liked it other than the Burrowers, but I was
Yeah, we
kinda
talked
curious
about that one already, though. I think we talked about it last.
Did we? No, I thought this was this one came in afterwards.
Did
This one
it?
confused me because people were reaching out to me for list advice, and I'm thinking that never happens.
I love it.
I'm usually the one pestering everyone else for advice,
I
so
like
people
it.
coming to me is just kind of like a bizarro world type thing happening.
Well, my whole approach to list building is a little bit sideways from most people because I'm more interested in playing things that I think look fun to play, whether they're competitive or not. I like to make non-competitive things work, and once in a while that actually lets us see something working rather than everyone thinking something's garbage. But Matt,
Hey,
on the other
I'm
hand,
fine with
he's
that.
very competitive. So.
Okay, let me just take a look. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so I
fine
think
with
we're
that.
okay.
I mean, yeah.
So if you guys have any news you want to discuss, I think one of you said you had something you wanted to talk about.
Well,
Event, anything
Yes.
you're doing. You had something. So during news, we'll let you each person.
Corey,
get a
do you have
chance
that
to-
information?
Yeah, September 11th and 12th.
Okay, so we'll let you guys talk about that, and then please feel free to talk over us, yell, scream, hoot, holler, and make a general nuisance of yourself. It's totally allowed.
Well, I do believe
Yeah,
you
just-
did ask for a shirtless picture, right? Right, Dallas?
No, I don't want it. I want you to send it to Dan. Send it to Dan. Dan would love it. Especially if you lifted your shirt up and pressed against like a glass window or something for him.
or a plexiglass case.
That would be awesome. That would be very cool.
I think you have a follow-up Kickstarter video, right? Just waiting to happen.
You might draw the wrong demographic if you do that, but hey,
Hey,
whatever
but
it
if
takes.
you hit your numbers,
Oh
it's all for
boy.
the greater good. And on that lovely note, we've given Danny like what 3 or 4 episodes worth of material to go with.
Fantastic.
So for the whole one person who's probably me watching the stream right now, I'm going to switch it back to our fancy place card, and then start the recording, and then we can start in. So you've got about 10 seconds, 15 seconds to come up with something.
I got
No
it.
pressure, Dallas.
Oh, not me.
Maybe.
Okay, so
I'm going to try and get it at least on the first or second try instead of the third or fourth try like Matt.
okay, good. And
So
I'll
we're
just
actually
give
going
a-
for this?
Well, the last time he had an excellent one, and I started talking just as he started talking.
So what you're saying is you want all of us to mute while he does it?
Nah.
Oh, of
no.
course. Well, I have to because I got a air conditioner going in the background, so
Oh,
I
see
have
how
to
you-
mute myself. So I muted myself, and you're ready to go in 3, 2.
Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the TrollbloodScrum cast, where we've decided we're better off outsourcing our beards instead of trying to grow our own. I'd like to introduce our guests. First of all, you'll notice Matt's not here. We've decided that I'm probably a better host, or not. But he decided to take a break tonight. So it's the famous Def Head Dice, the man who controls all of our online media, the one who really is the one you should send all of your list questions to, Fraser Balfour.
Evening,
And then
everyone.
And then we've got our guests, Corey and Drake are here to talk to us about some troll lists, things that are going on in their neck of the woods, and some really fancy cases. You can see a couple there in the background. Corey? Drake?
Hello.
Hello out there.
Fantastic. Excellent. Already better than Matt. Did you see that? Or maybe not.
You
So-
realize he's never going to come back if you keep this up, right?
I know he'll never not show up ever again.
Wasn't that Dallas's evil plan to begin with? Just take over for Boris. Strike him down and rise up as his own.
Right. Just so you know, I was ready to quit the TrollbloodScrum. I'm the creator. I'm the first one to start it, and I was ready to be done. And Matt reached out to me. I had no idea who he was, and he says, "Hey, I want to help you. If you'll keep it going, I would like to do it with you, and I want to start a podcast." And so I was about done, and that was a long time ago. And ever since then, Matt's kept us rolling, and then most recently it's been Fraser and Dan have been really pivotal in keeping the Scrumcast alive. So maybe Corey and Drake, we'll see. So let's start off with news. Not a lot going on in my neck of the woods. We just finished our Utah Cup at Salt City Gladiator Games. It was a big event, lots of success. We had about 3 days worth of events, and I think it was a lot of fun. Hopefully next year we'll be able to reach out to some of the wider community and get some folks in from other states. But that was a lot of fun. So not a whole lot going in my neck of the woods. What about you, Fraser?
We actually have a WTC Canada fundraising team tournament scheduled for August 27th in Guelph, Ontario, which is about an hour west of Toronto. Chris Orr, who's one of the Team Canada members, putting this on. It's a 5-man team tournament. They announced it late last week. It opened for sign-up on Tuesday, and it's already half full at 10 teams. They're looking to potentially get 20 teams all together, so there's still room. Follows the same WTC format. We did one, as everyone that listens to the podcast knows, because I wouldn't shut up about it. We did the Ontario Team Championship, the OTC, and we had so much fun. So I've managed to get a few of the guys from our OTC team together to join a team for the this WTC Team Canada fundraiser, and we're called. What?
I'm just talking over you. Do people sign up online?
It's through there's a Facebook page, and I will gladly share it. It's actually shared on the 4 New Gamers, and I think I shared it on the TrollbloodScrum page as well.
Cool.
Our team, because we have 2 troll players, myself and Rob, the other troll player locally, so we're called Guns and Trollses. That's our team.
Hey.
So we've got a Signar player, so we've got guns, and we've got the trolls. So
nice. I like it.
The best part is because you can't play the same caster even if multiple players on the team. So we've got Madrak 2, Gunbjorn,
Of course.
Grim 2,
Very good.
and Ragnar. So we've got like the 4 best casters all coming on one team. It's going to be
Those are our 4
glorious.
best casters?
Well, they're the 4 best ones I like right now.
Okay. All right.
I could be convinced otherwise, but those are the ones I'm building on my list to right now.
Well, there you go. You go with what works.
So, yeah, there you go. So if you're in the Southern Ontario, upstate, Eastern New York area or Eastern U.S. area, coming down, it's going to be a blast. It's a one-day event, so you don't have to worry about being too late. 2 days. It's going to be lots of fun.
Very cool. Very cool.
And it supports Team Canada.
Exactly.
Which to me is really important.
I forgot to mention that Canada is
Yes.
taking over the podcast, just so you guys know. So them 3 will probably be a little bit more polite than me, but.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, eh?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
So.
I need.
You guys play hockey, eh?
What the fuck you talking about?
Hey, I learned all of my Canadian from Strange Brew. Sweet. All right. Well, Corey, what do you got?
We have an event coming up in September. I think it's 9th, 10th, 11th in Kamloops, BC, Canada. It's called Attack X. It is an Iron Gauntlet qualifier on the Friday, where the finals will be played on the Sunday, and then on the Saturday it is a War Machine Weekend qualifier. And the finals for that will be played also on the Sunday after the Iron Gauntlet qualifier. So if you do well in the first event, you're in for a long Sunday. Like there's 3 games total on Sunday, and they'll be the finals.
Wow, that sounds like a wicked event. And where's it at?
Kamloops, BC, Canada, the TCC Center.
Nice. And are all the events all filled up already, or is there a place where people can go to?
Lots of places to sign. We're running a whole bunch of different games too, so it's a gaming convention, not just War Machine exclusive. So if your buddies play X-Wing or other games like that, now they want to promote other games, but bring them up also. We have late night Saturday and Friday gaming also, so you can come up and do team tournaments and other events if you don't qualify. There's also games on Sunday plus scrambles.
Very cool.
As well as a painting competition as well for those of you like me who kind of suck at the gaming but like having lots of fun with the painting and so on. You can have some fun with that too.
Sweet. I'm a sucky painter, but I really try hard. So very cool, very cool. All right, well, that sounds like we got plenty going on. Everyone's kind of trying to get through the summer and getting into the fall where there's some other big events. I know there's some pre-release information and stuff from Gen Con that just came out, most notably because we don't care about other faction stuff, but there was word, not a sighting that I know of, but a confirmation of Horrigal Ironstrike, our new Warcaster. Not lesser Warcaster, but epic-y version, so that's going to be pretty cool. That's all I know about. I haven't heard any hearsay of anything else that I care about.
I'm hoping for some kind of flaming warhead type version, like just like Sky Splitter's hammer, but just make it flaming or something for him.
Oh, that'd be cool. Well, word on the street is he's very good with pyre trolls and slag trolls. Well, who knew, right?
Who would have guessed? My God.
So maybe that's why the point reduction went away on the lesser. So, anyways, that's all we got going on there. So let's talk about our next one. This is Matt's favorite one, and he always makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm never working on anything. But we're going to go into our next segment. Oh, did I not give? It doesn't matter. Dan will edit it anyways. It's not a big deal. So we're going to do our next segment called What's on Your Painting Table? And we'll let our esteemed guests go first. Drake, what are you painting right now?
Well, I haven't had too much time to paint recently, but I am taking part in the local Journeyman League. So I figured I'd do what I'm better at, and I've been cutting up lots of models and doing weird things to them.
Nice. Oh, we have pictures.
Yes, this is my bouncer with the lovely
cool.
Mena shield provided by my friend Corey there.
Ah, that's fancy.
We wanted to make it look like he was ready to knock some blocks right off, because I love bouncers, and I was happy to get a second one.
Very cool.
And, well, just because, let's face it, I'm not a fan of Sky Splitter looking like he's walking around with a pimp cane, I decided to make it look more like an actual hammer.
Oh, there you go.
So I re-sculpted his arm a bit and sculpted up the end of the handle, and when I'm done, I'm actually going to have several rune stones floating in his hand.
Oh,
and
wow.
they're going to be around about a dime-sized piece of clear plastic, so it'll look like they're floating relatively.
So what you're saying is you're much better at this stuff than I am.
I don't know about that. I'm just pushing stuff around and cutting stuff up and cutting myself, things like that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Now, the one you really want to talk to about who's got some really great skills is Corey. He is an amazing painter.
And that's a good segue because I was going there next.
I'm currently painting up a Menoth Force for the WTC.
Oh, never mind. It's not trolls. Go away.
It's not trolls.
Menoth.
I've been forced into either Menoth or the second drop we were talking about was possibly Legion.
Oh boy. Well, you know what trolls wear into battle, don't you? They wear.
So we're only allowed, like I said earlier, for the WTC format, you're actually only allowed to run one caster per team.
Oh.
So we can't double up on casters. So we're just trying to make sure that the guy that plays trolls more gets to play trolls for the WTC.
Ah, good out.
Yeah.
Strong out.
I'm not gonna lie, I would love to be playing my trolls for the WTC. They're all painted. Unfortunately,
cool.
my Menoth, I picked the worst color scheme in the world. I don't know if I can.
He says worth, but I think they look pretty sharp, especially the way he does them.
So I'll try and spin the camera around here. That won't work.
Oh, that's cool. Is that a turquoise with the purple cross? And you've got the checkered shield.
Light here. I'll just shift over to where there's proper light.
That's cool. It looks like a classic checkered shield there. Oh, I like that. That's Camelot style Menoth, right?
Yeah, it was. I might as well paint the most difficult paint scheme I can come up with, right? Because who wants to paint the model and not have to have a challenge?
Well, if I remember right, wasn't that paint scheme partially placed on a bet?
I might have lost a bet and then not had choice of my colors I got to pick.
I love it.
Or the pattern. So checker pattern was actually a challenge. I just finished. I played him at Wet Coast here in Vancouver last weekend, but I painted Epic Severius. And there's actually a checker pattern across the entire bottom of this Coke.
Oh my gosh.
Which I don't know if it's seeable because of the poor light I'm in.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay, you're a better painter than I am. When I say that's horrible, I mean that me thinking about trying to paint that makes my head hurt.
It made my head hurt also.
Every time I look at painting the new Qatari, I'm like, oh, plaid again. So we got there. We got plaid. Very cool stuff. I like it. Show us pictures when you're done.
You betcha.
Okay, we want pictures so we can.
Progress shirts as well.
I will send you pictures of the entire army once lists are locked. I can show you Sevi and Durst because I'm definitely probably not playing them. But we got to keep it hush hush, right?
Right.
That's the worst part. Is I don't know. We don't have to have our list, I think, finalized to the end of August, so I've got a month of playtesting.
So you're different than I am. I usually post my list out for anyone who wants to see it, so I can get advice on how to make it better. And then strangely, when I go to the tournament, people are surprised that that's actually in my list.
Well, see, that's the whole reason we came on here, right? Counterintelligence. We feed the world the wrong information, right?
I like it. I like what's going on here. It's very untroll-like of you.
Hey, we Canadians, we're a sneaky bunch. That's what it's all about.
That's how we survive with so many of you underneath us.
Oh.
Geographically speaking.
Oh. Well, there's like 4 of you up there, so.
There's 12. We got some
and 3 of them are on the cast with you right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Well, Fraser, what are you working on?
You guys were talking about plaid and tartan. I gave my first attempt at that, and wow, did I do a horrible job. So I'm trying to find a good tutorial to make it where it's a little bit less painful and looks a little bit less sucky. So if you have any suggestions or pointers for plaid, please send them my way, because I could definitely use some.
So the old Forces of Trollblood book has a plaid guide in the back of it for Mark II.
Okay, I'll take a look.
That's what I learned on, and my plaid doesn't suck. It's not great, but it doesn't suck.
See, I tried using the one that Alan O'Brien does, the guy that does, and his stuff is just gorgeous. But he had a nice little shot. It's like 6 little pictures, and I said, "Oh, that's easy. I should be able to do that, no problem." Yeah, I couldn't do it.
His skill level's well beyond mine.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've done checkers and stuff like that before with my orcs in 40K, but this was like this. I need more practice. So, and I also need better brushes, I think. So that may help. It may help as well. But other than that, I'm just working through my fen blades, because I think almost every list right now needs fen blades. And then I have to paint a set of a full unit of scimitars for Alex, one of our local guys who won them in a raffle at the Battle for Breath back in May, which I haven't done anything about because I'm a bad person. So.
Well, welcome to the
Eventually.
group. Well, I'm doing a Journeyman League right now with the new Trollblood Battle Box, but I also have to paint some battle boxes for my press ganger obligations, so I'm currently painting a Signar battle box. So I've gone Signar, if you didn't hear me mumble that, my Signar battle box. But I think I've outsourced it to a buddy of mine. We're going to paint it with as described in the book, the winter colors. So that's why that's why you're wearing your blue shirt now, because you're going all into Signar. No, I just not all in, because I'm a troll first, but I am building a gun mages list. So
in other words, you got to check his back for that yellow spot, right? I mean swan.
Yeah.
I've always had a somewhat sort of soft spot. I've never forgiven Leto for throwing us under the bus, though. But so that's why it's winter colors. Winter colors. So a little royal blue instead of the sucky Cygnus whatever crap. Anyways, so we're just working on battle boxes right now, but I'm hoping to get in on my next light. I'm almost done with my 3 that came in the box, and then I think I'm going to paint a Pyre Troll. Even though I was given a few at Lock and Load, for some reason I always own a gazillion Pyre Trolls. So I got an old metal one that wasn't assembled, so I'm going to assemble it and paint the old school one and get that one going. So.
Well, aren't they just your old flame? You know, they just kind of always hang with you.
Well, so I don't know if you know this, but back in the day I was a guest. Before I podcasted, I was a guest on the old Lost Hemisphere podcast with old Menoth John and a few others, and the press ganger at the time was Jen Ikuta, or the quartermaster at the time was Jen Ikuta, and at the time I had 6 Pyre Trolls, and the reason was when Primal first came out, the only good AOE outside of a Warcaster that Trolls had was the Pyre Troll. And so I was running a Horthel, which is Doomshaper 1, with 6 Pyre Trolls list. It was actually pretty good back in Mark 1. And I happened to mention that on Lost Hemisphere, and they made fun of me. And then over the course of the next 2 months, about 13 or 16 Pyre Trolls. They didn't show up all at once, but they started showing up in the mail. A bunch of people mailed me Pyre Trolls. So ever since then, I've always had more than a dozen painted Pyre Trolls at any time. And then all my stuff was stolen back in January, and then after lock and load hit, I'm back up to over 12. So,
Now with the new meta, you have to make a one list with all 12 of them and just call it burns when you flee.
Oh, they're so expensive. 9 points is a little pricey for what they do anymore, but I love them still, and I love the old sculpt. The new sculpt's cool too, but I'm a big fan of the old sculpt. Plus, I like carrying the heaviest models I can find, so all metal models are where it's at, right? Break my shoulder when I go to an event. So.
And I was working on a classic Mauler just before I came here, and a Dire Extreme Mauler, so...
Oh, the Extreme Mauler. Is he in my case? No. My Extreme Mauler does not fit in my case.
Dun, dun, dun.
I will correct that.
It's because of his base. He's got that big rocky base, and it's like too wide to slide in, if that makes any sense.
Too tall or too wide?
His base is just as wide up high as it is down low.
If you send me pics, I'll send you down a tray that fits it.
Well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
I don't mind that. I want to make sure your army completely fits.
Well, as you can see, there's a few gaps on a few things I'm working on, but almost everything I own fits in these cases, including some of my mercenaries.
Sorry, some of your boom howlers, you said?
Boom howler's in there. Where is he? Yeah, here's boom howler right in the middle there. But it's fantastic. So that's a good segue to our next section, which is why our friend Corey and Drake are here. Is they've started a Kickstarter to showcase, and we talked about these cases a few podcasts ago. But these guys were nice enough to give me some cases because I didn't have anything, and I'm very extremely grateful to have some way to transport my models to and from the shop, and I like having a way to display them at home. You can't see it right now because I'm not done with it, but when I display them on my desk downstairs, I have some LED backlight behind them that shines through the cases and makes them look really cool. So it's kind of nice to have a case that I don't play as much as most people, and so it's nice to be able to display them while I'm not playing them. So I'm very grateful for that, and let's talk about it. So I'm going to turn the time over to Corey and Drake, and we're going to talk about these fantastic cases.
Well, Corey, they're your baby, so go for it, man.
To be honest, I'm always at a loss when it comes to talking about them because it really wasn't an idea that I had. It was like the concept and how to build it was, but it was an idea that sort of developed through our club. And, well, it probably took us 3 years to complete from when we started. And it was about 20 years of gaming experience and 15 to 17 years of experience in the in more industrial jobs that led to making it. The idea now is we Kickstarted to hopefully fundraise enough money to be able to buy a nice laser etcher and a good CNC machine to offer the best quality product we can offer.
Nice.
What we want to do is we definitely don't want to see something go out the door that isn't to the best of quality, and we want to keep our price as reasonable as possible. So to do that, we need to purchase good machinery for ourselves and not have to outsource. Because the moment we outsource, we add 10 to 15% to our price.
So tell me about your normal case. That's the big one, right?
Yep, so our standard case, which I have actually beside me here.
Oh, good. I don't have to lift mine up because it's got a bunch of metal models in it. Whew. There it is.
So that's our standard case. And our standard case comes with, now, everything's modular, so everything comes out and can be changed. So if you don't like a setup or you're not running a Colossal, you can swap it out. But the basic format we have now, it fits 42 small base models, so 30 millimeter. It fits 12 medium base models, 12 large base models, and a 120 mil model.
Nice. So,
Plus a small dice tray that's 2.5 inches in height by 7 by 12 underneath.
Okay, turn back to the case. So that's the case. You were talking about the one you just showed us, right? That's this case right here. How many does it fit?
So this case fits a grand total of 42 small base, so here and then 2 rows here. 3 rows of 4 deep of the 40 millimeter models. A small half shelf, which fits 6, and a half shelf on the bottom, which fits a total of 12 large base.
Nice.
So the 50 millimeter models, and then one colossal sized model.
Nice. That's cool. So for your average army, that'll fit pretty much everything. If you're playing Kador, you can bring all your jacks. You can bring your Colossal. You can bring all your Widowmakers, your Marksmans, your rocket launcher dudes. I hate them all. They kill me a
You seem
lot.
to be very knowledgeable. You seem to be very knowledgeable about all this Kador stuff. I'm a little nervous.
It's because Kador is everywhere.
My 6-year-old plays Kador, and he
okay.
legitimately beat me in a battle box game about 2 weeks ago, and it was kind of embarrassing. But yes, my 6-year-old legitimately beat me. He can't even pronounce half the words on the cards. And but hey, it is what it is. He knows how to measure. So
if it helps you any, my 12-year-old beats me pretty routinely. And I'm on Team Moose for the WTC, and I think I lose to my 12-year-old more often than I win.
I don't play my 9-year-old very often for the same reason, because I don't like losing. That's
good. It means you guys are raising up the next generation of warriors.
Okay, so let's talk about that case. What if I play an army like, I don't know, trolls, and I don't really have a lot of small base models, but I got a gazillion medium base models?
So we have the option to switch out whatever size tray you want for any tray you want. So if you want a full tray of medium base models, the tray will contain 20 models.
So what if I don't want to carry my Colossal in the big case?
You can take your Colossal out and put 2 trays in to replace it and the half tray that comes with it.
You use the half trays now?
Nope, you take the half tray out. So I'll just quickly demonstrate it.
There we go.
So you can take the half tray completely out. You can also take out that
the divider tray. There you go.
So the divider is attached to give strength.
Okay.
So when you remove this shelf, the whole unit comes out.
Very cool. And then you can
go whatever you want in.
You can replace it with 2 full-length shelves, right? Cool. Very cool. So the case that you guys gave me is almost all medium base models. I've got 1 shelf here in the middle that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of small base, and it fits all of my whelps and my burrowers, and my bushwhackers aren't in there because I have extra whelps in there, and then my keg carrier and the mugs and crump all fit very nicely in there. And then it fits. I've got a full unit of krills in there. I got a full unit of boom howlers. I actually have 2 full units of boom howlers because lock and load is weird. In here right now, a unit of fin blades. I've got Horrigal. I've got 4 skinners in there because they have Weapon Master now. Sorry guys. And then 2 units of champions. I've got about 6 warcasters, some fire eaters. I've got a bunch of war beasts, some pyre trolls, a slag troll, my night troll. I think my night troll is in this case, which we'll get out in a minute. But it fits. If I'm going to the gaming store or if I'm going to a tournament, this fits my 2 lists, sometimes even 3 lists, pretty easily. Also, it has the tray in the bottom that right now I have all my paints in, and some paint brushes and some of my flocky, and also some of my tokens and stuff like that are down at the bottom. So I love it. We etched the front, and these guys are going to be able to etch it too if we can make their Kickstarter happen.
And we won't be able to etch. The one thing we aren't able to etch is anyone else's intellectual property until we have licensing rights.
Right.
Which
so you
we need
can
to build a
etch
reputation.
your name into it. You can etch your girlfriend's name into it. You can etch a heart that says "Mom," if you want, for some reason. But if you have, so let's say I got all my stuff, all my troll stuff in this big case, but then I decide I got to bring my Glacier King and my Mountain King too. What do I do?
So we do sell multiple sizes, and one of the ones we really enjoy. Thank you for the lead into it. It's really nice. So one of the things we did was we wanted to make sure. So your case is actually the first one we built for sale, and it wasn't for sale per se, but it was with the idea that maybe we would start a company. I'd been running a Madrak 1 list with 70 Krell, and then a Grim list to go with it. So that's why I built the first one.
Nice.
And it was just a lot to pack in and out of a bag every game, and it was a lot to pack around in a tray. So I built the case. And Pat had brought up donating a case to you, and I thought it was a great idea, and I love the idea of replacing someone's army, and I'd missed the boat on donating trolls to you because I procrastinate.
Sounds like me.
Don't tell anyone I said that. So Pat had brought up donating a case, so we got together, we designed it, and what I got was just a list of your models. And I thought, how can I fit this into a case that's portable enough that you can carry? So I want to make sure everything stays under 22 inches in height in case someone has to fly.
Right.
And I want to make sure everything is always 12 by 7 trays. That way, if you just buy more trays, you can stack your army up on a shelf. And say you want to play Signar one day, God forbid, you can then just pull Signar trays out and put them into your shelf.
So show them the tray one more time, because this is my favorite part about the case. Is like you said, you can pull the whole trays out and set them on your shelf and just pick your other tray up and slide it back in. And unlike a bag where you have to dig foam trays out and stack them all up, so the bases slide right into the grooves that they've made, and the models all stay in them. And if you'll lift that up so we see the camera.
So my favorite, I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
Yeah, you got to lift it up.
No, we can't,
So
Corey.
my favorite feature is removing models is honestly just this simple.
Lift it up.
Corey, lift your camera up.
Oh my God. Up or down?
Down. We can't.
Down,
There
down,
we go.
That's
I'll get those out of the
insane.
way. So it's really this simple. You
Little
just
lower.
hold your finger and pull the tray.
Little lower.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, look at that. See how all the models stay on the tray? And one of my favorite things about these trays is if you'll let it come to me, is they made this colossal one for me, but all of their cases, if you can see mine, all of their cases, the models fit in, so they actually, you can turn the case all the way upside down, and the models stay right where they are, which is cool because that case is too tall for my trunk, and so when I put it in the trunk of my car, I lay it down on its side, and all the models stay, everything, all of the trays stay where they're at, nothing falls out. I saw these guys at Lock and Load, they would just lay the whole thing down sideways on the table next to them, so it wouldn't take up as much space. It's really kind of a different design. I really like it. Now, do you sell these small colossal ones too?
Our Kickstarter page has it's at Modular Army Transport. Throw that plug in. It has a listing of all we sell. There's actually a short 2.5 to 3 minute video and then a minute trailer at the end which goes through each of the products that we have in our line right now. We are working on the other game system bases. So the 25, 30 mil, 40 mil that Corvus Belly and Games Workshop use, we do have the ability to transport those. We just haven't flushed the line out and tested it enough yet.
Nice.
Which means even more modularity if you play multiple games. So say you play Infinity or Guild Ball, you can have a smaller case for those games, and then you can have a bigger case for your larger games, and all your shelves can trade wherever you want to put them.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, tell us. Yeah. Tell us. I know I'm gushing because I wasn't sure about it when I first saw it. I'm like, well, that's a really interesting idea, but does it work? It does.
It does.
It does. It works well.
Now, if we have a chance for a quick segue here, this is a prototype that we just had finished like an hour or so ago. So if you find yourself on a long road trip, in fact, as you say, you were putting your cases in your trunk.
Yes.
Well, now we've got this. These nice cloth bags made of denim and so on.
Oh, nice.
It just slips right over the handle, and you can just pull your cases out.
That'll keep it from getting dinged while
scratched up and everything. When you're all done, you got to travel back up and load a bunch of them into the trunk of the car. You just slide it on. Your handle goes right through the top, just like your button on your jeans does, and you're all set to go. And we've even got it so that this is just a prototype for the initial bag, but later versions are also going to have straps so you can wear it like a backpack.
Very cool.
Make it a lot easier.
I said it before. It looks. It's not fragile, even though it looks like it might be. These are pretty durable. I actually dropped my small one, and they don't break. Like I said, and the models stay. I set it down sideways in my trunk because it's obviously too tall to fit in my trunk otherwise. And nothing falls. Everything stays where it's at. Nothing slides around. Gotta be honest with you, I like it. So what I'm getting at, guys, is if you want an interesting, different case, it's Modular Army Transports on Kickstarter. They have 23 days left to go, and I think I'm going to hit the back this project button right now because I haven't backed it yet. So I will start doing that. And
actually, Dallas, do you mind grabbing the colossal case? Because the one thing I noticed, and I think this is fantastic, you're using some of the empty space. So you have the two colossals on the bottom, but you've got a row on the top that you're filling in as well, and I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but I've got, and this is intellectual property, but I cut vinyl out and put vinyl on the side of it, so you guys know vinyl looks great on these cases. So I've got my Galleon and my Mountain King there, but if you look up here in the middle, I've got my Storm Troll, my keg, the keg dude, I forget his name because I'm a bad person, and then
his name's Kill Lifter.
There we go, the Kill Lifter.
I'm a bad person.
But
Just a bad troll.
But they can do that. Okay, they did that for me when they donated this case, and it holds all the extra medium-based models. I can hold about 4 along the top there, and I think it's great because I don't bring a lot of heavies usually, but I am gonna play a Mountain King and a Glacier King at the same time. So I like the idea of putting all my War Beasts in this one box, and then bringing my units in the other ones. So. Well done, fellas. I like it a lot.
So, to finish the story behind your case, Pat gave me a list of the models you were getting, and the list they built was actually 3 lists. It was a Gristle list.
The Gristle list.
I think
Orca
a
Family
list.
Reunion.
Yeah, and Borka Family Reunion. So you had 3 lists to build.
Right.
And I calculated the models out, and it was actually 1 model more than my standard case, but my case size would fit. So I was scrambling. I'm like, well, how do I get this base in? That's why your trays have some medium and some large, or some small and some medium.
So what you're saying is I have unique trays?
Yes.
Nobody else can get?
No, everybody else can get. If you have something you want custom built, we'll do custom whatever you need.
All right.
So if
You
send
just
me
got the
Army
first ones.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
You have the original.
The original.
We have a player in town here who plays Retribution and doesn't run Hyperion. So his case is only 3 trays and a really small dice tray.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. It's really cool. So let me go back to the Kickstarter because I'll say the name wrong. Modular Army Transports. It's fantastic. You can donate at a low level for a dice tray. You can donate at a higher level for a case. Their cases are cheaper than comparable other people's cases. It looks like, for the most part, unless you don't count the cost of foam. It's very well priced.
I believe shipping is also included in the Kickstarter.
Yeah, it looks like it. So very, very cool. I highly recommend it if you've got the flow and if you want something. For me, the big bonus is it's something I can use as a display case while at the same time using it to carry stuff around. So.
Amen. That's something I love about it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Like I said, I don't get to the shop every week. For me, it's every other week or every 3 weeks, and so it's nice to have a place to. Because I spend a lot of time painting and stuff, and I want to be able to show it. Even though most people don't care about my nerd stuff, I care. And so, anyways, we've gushed a long time about this. Let's one final plug, if you want us to know one more thing, and then let's move on to the list building section since we've been going for 40 minutes.
I'm good with the list building section. The last plug would basically be that the cases are built to make gaming a more enjoyable experience. What I found at multiple lock and loads and all the other conventions I've traveled to in the last 6 years for this game is that packing around a bag all day, plus an army tray, plus whatever else, became cumbersome.
Yeah.
And leaving my bag in the corner of a room with whatever models I had left over, and it was also frustrating. Mm-hmm. What I found over the last 6 months of using mine is it makes all gameplay easier. Because I can take models in and out so easy. I never lose models or leave them at a table because what I do is I flush each row up with empty bases. So all my models are pushed right to the front when I'm playing. So when the game's over, if nothing's pushed fully back, I'm missing a model. I've left it on the table.
I do that a lot.
That is a huge problem I've had over the years, is going back looking for that one solo I forgot that's beautifully painted sitting in a bush somewhere.
So if someone has questions, where do they send their questions to?
So we have a Facebook page at Modular Army Transport. You can also email the Kickstarter or just message on the Facebook page.
Very cool. Well, I'll say one more time, I love my cases. I was concerned about them working when I first saw them. I'm not concerned. They do great for me. I haul them all over town. They spend a lot of time in the trunk of my car, and they're doing just fine. So I like these cases a lot. So.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, as Matt would say. I'm going to turn the time over now to Fraser, and we're going to do a little list building dojo provided to us by one of our listeners.
Yep, and you know what? You think I'd be prepared and actually have the person's name ahead? I had the list right. I didn't have the. It was John Bezzy. John Bezzy reached out to me, which after he was the first person to actually reach out to me for list advice. So I was, it was like, oh, it's so emotional. Little did he realize what he's getting himself into. So that's why I'm bringing you guys in with me. So he wanted some suggestion on a Grim 2 list. So he has this list. It's designed for fun, but hopefully not to lose all the time. And I told him I've played Grim 2 like 3 times, so I'm not the person to ask. So his list, 75-point list, it has Grim 2 with the good old Mugs and Crump. He's got a Dire Troll Bomber, 2 bombers actually, and Rock. He's got Brayland Wanderheart, Alton Ashley, Lanissa Rissel, and a max unit of Highwaymen and a max unit of Burrowers. And so that was what his 75-point list is. I mean, I think, Dallas, your first comment was questioning the Burrowers.
Well, so let's talk about the Burrowers first, and then we can talk about the battle group and some of the other additions as well. I keep hearing this mostly from non-Trollblood players, but they're like, man, you can leave him burrowed the whole game and totally control the board without ever bringing him up. And I'm not sure. What do you guys think about it? Corey, Drake, Fraser? What do you think about Burrowers in that list?
If they're burrowed, you're not playing them.
Yep.
And a great chance they're not removing other models. You're basically letting your opponent play however many points up on you. Now, you're giving you're threatening with them, but you got to get him in the game. And to be honest, if it's a Hunter Grim list, he's going to get him in the game because he wants Hunter's Mark on him. So it makes them more survivable than they used to be because they'll deliver for the feat turn. So I don't mind him in the list at all. It's a POW 14 gun that's going to hit because of Hunter's Mark.
So you like him because of Hunter's Mark. So you want to unburrow on feat turn.
Yeah, I'd leave him burrowed and move him right till feat turn and then just pop up and be like, hey, surprise, here's a bunch of shots.
Okay.
And then they're going to die.
Well, yeah.
But
that's legitimate.
You're not losing bombers in the process, so it's probably a good trade.
That's why we bring good players onto the list, so that they can...
Well, question, what was the Burrowers, was that min or max?
It was max.
Okay. I'd almost wonder if you'd want to drop them down to a min so you'd still be able to surprise them later on with the Burrowers. And maybe try to get someone like the Chronicler in there, because the Chronicler with the Highwaymen, just from my games, it's been pretty solid.
Okay, so remind our listeners, the Chronicler, you use them mostly for Tale of Mists, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So
now, yes, in Mark II, it was hilarious because you could put Tale of Mists on them and have them running around in the open, just completely hidden, which was hilarious. It's not as good now because they lost camouflage, but it's still a pretty solid team having him with the Highwaymen, I find.
Now, are we worried about Highwaymen dying because they're pretty much your speed bump? So how do you keep them? How do you deliver them? What are we doing to keep them alive?
Well, the Chronicler does give them the added defense, but I'll let the actual good player tell you the better ways to do it.
I like the list max Digmies, to be honest. I think it's going to deliver more punch at POW 14s, and your Highwaymen are going to survive because of the Digmies. This looks like a turn 2 feat list.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's going to play past turn 2 without a feat, and with Mortality and the spell list on Grim plus the other, I think it looks solid with the exception of Rock confuses me a bit, and same with Lanissa. And I'm guessing that's a package together to get extra range for the Assault Spray, and to give you a big beefy Jack, but that one confuses me a little.
Lanissa, maybe no. Yeah, I guess I would bring her for Pathfinder, but that list doesn't really need it.
I think it might be the Prey or whatever spell that she has. Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's
Mark. Hunter's Mark with Rock, get him really going in the right direction when you want him to get
maybe to help deliver. I like Rock a lot in Mark III. I think by
so do I. I just don't think he needs the extra 2 inches. But she's only 3 points.
I'm with you. What do you add instead of Lanissa?
I to be honest, I don't know. I think Linus is fine because it's the last 3 points.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. I'm not quite sure. I like the battle group a lot.
Double bombers are awesome. I love double bombers on Mark 3, especially with a guy like Grim's going to make them work, right?
Yeah, it is. Plus, now that I have Far Strike, they're pretty much the same Fury efficiency they were before, but you don't have to figure out how to snipe them anymore. And on the feet turn, they get to have snipe anyways. So I like the bombers. I like Primal. I like Rock's Animus on the bombers. If you don't get it done on feet turn and they need to start doing some heavy lifting, I like having disposable bombers that you can run in after they've done all the heavy lifting on feet turns. So I like that. Maybe keep Rock back to protect your caster until end game. That's how I see it, anyways. And Rock's gonna kill whatever he touches.
Especially with mortality.
Yeah, with mortality and berserk.
The only thing I could think of is if maybe dropping her just to include something like a Gobber Chef, because then you could run those beasts really hot.
Well, you could drop her and put maybe a couple Feral Geists and a Chef, or one Feral Geist and a Chef, or you could bring some Swamp Gobbers, because maybe a little extra protection against a shooty list. What's your drop with this list? Who are you playing it against?
Everything that doesn't shoot me off the table.
Not Signar.
Anything that you can out-threat with a Walk 5 range 12 beast.
Yeah.
So you're going to avoid Menoth because there's no magic weapons. Signar because they'll probably outshoot you, but you could drop this into Khador. You've got enough oomph at the end of the game to probably finish off a couple of big heavies.
Yeah, with your kegs soften up on the way in, and with Primal, you should be able to take down some Khador heavies without much issue. Plus, your range threat with those kegs is really good. And they still hit. I mean, we're paying a premium now for what the bomber does, but he still does it really well, and he hits like a freaking truck at range, which is always a bonus. So
like a throne truck.
So I see. Early on, I wasn't sold on the Burrowers, but you've given me good cause to maybe like them.
And I think the Burrowers still have that psychological thing too, right? Because people that are Burrow, they don't know when they're going to come up. They still have that sort of psychological threat.
Well, you're going to ensure Hunter's Mark, which is going to make sure that your bombers are going to hit stuff, and with Braylon and the Highwaymen, we can step past into a back arc and get some really good bonus. I think if you play it right, you're good. If they have good infantry clearing, you might lose points on the Highwaymen. But again, if you're feeding early, I think it has some merit. It's worth some try. I think maybe if it was me, because I'm not comfortable with the new Burrowers, I would probably just drop them and bring Fedblades.
Well, you can try out both, because I know you for a fact you've got some Burrowers behind you.
I do. Burrowers are right there. And the Fedblades are right there.
So just think about this. What if we dropped Rock, because you want some good melee? Why don't you drop Rock for 2 Slags? Because if you're going up against Khador, you're getting the 3 dice on any melee, and you're getting that assault shot ahead of time.
Well, I
think Rock gives the bomber some threat, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they go up to Mat 8, POW 18, because they're 60 base, so they get a pretty big buff with Primal.
Aren't they 15?
Oh, okay.
Are they 15 melee? They might go to 17. And then
I believe they are 15.
You can always spell it for -2 more armor, right? So effectively you're a 19.
Yeah, with Mortality and Primal, they're effective Mat 10, POW 19?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
With Mortality. So with the right stack, you're gonna kill stuff.
Yeah, was the stone in there in that list?
No.
No stone.
No, and I don't think you need the stone in that particular list.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything from the +1 strength, really. Maybe late game, but the list also wants to move a lot faster than the stone. Plus, Hunter's Grim's going to struggle if you're moving that fast up the board. If you're going early feet, you're not going to want that focus or that fury on your stone anyways. You're going to want it to set up for the next turn, which you'll probably feat turn 2. Or, you'll probably feat turn 2, especially if you go first. Especially if you go second. If you go first, it might be turn 3. But you're going to feed early. For sure. Cool. What else you got, Fraser?
That was the only list that we were sent.
What?
I don't know, what do you? Okay, I'll go by the rule, the idea of sending out secret stuff before we're supposed to.
Oh,
so
perfect. Excellent.
My list for the WTC fundraiser is going to be Madrak 2. So I'm taking Madrak 2 with Mulg and who is he coming with? Pyre? No, what did he come with? I have to check my list. But he's also got a. You think I'd be prepared for something like this, but no, this is the level of professionalism I'm right for here. And it's been a long day. All you guys out still being early evening when it's almost 11 o'clock here. You ever notice how War Room takes longer to load?
Yeah,
Especially
well,
when
it
you're
just
on a
had a big
podcast?
card update for me.
Well, isn't that just a throwback to the old War Room? So you know it's not actually a brand new working properly tool.
I've got an army collector now, so I don't have to use my manually updated version of iBodger. So.
So here we go. So my and I have to admit I stole this from Goris. So my Madrak 2 list is Madrak 2 Mulligan of Pyre is right about the Pyre. The Fenblade Kithkar, a Fellcaller Hero, full unit of Fenblades with the Officer, the Long Riders, full unit, a full unit of Warders, and the Creelstone with the Elder.
Tell me your approach with this list.
So this one, I actually played this list on Home Machine last week. I played into the new Scorn Battle Box caster, and basically what I did is I flanked the Tuffaloes on one side, the Blades on the other, just a little bit off of center, and then ran the Warders straight up with Madrak in behind, and having the Kithkar and the Fellblade supporting the Fenblades on the way up. Now I was trying to be crafty, and I basically kept flanking the Tuffaloes all the way through, and didn't actually even get them into play. But there was enough of a threat where he just kept having to pay attention to them. But the trickiest part with this list, and I felt so bad for Robert, the guy I played, is I purposely left things alive so I could then Pac-Man through to get to his caster. And having never played Madrak 2 before, and only playing limited time with Madrak 1, and never realizing the joys of Pac-Matting, it was glorious. I don't think I've had as much
how
fun.
you win? I mean, you know, step 1, bring Madrak. Step 2, Pac-Man. Step 3, Profit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see. Back in Mark 1, I saw a player crusher through 42 models and end on their caster and kill it. So he because it was just a friendly game, but it wasn't so friendly by the end of that turn.
If you want to talk unfriendly Madrak, Corey, take it away.
Nope. I don't want to talk about Madrak and 60 Krell.
60, I love it.
Yeah, Madrak, back in Mark 2. This wouldn't be that long ago. I was at the Seattle Open, and I played a couple of games with Madrak and 60 Krell.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you Carnage, Feed, Fellcaller, Fervor, and your Krell goes up by 6 mat.
Oh,
and your POW 17. I went through an entire army of exemplars in a feed turn.
It's beautiful. I miss Fervor. I'm sad they took it away from the Krills, and I'm sad they changed it for the Sons of Bragg. Makes me sad.
So we just had someone else put a Madrak 2 list into the Twitch chat, which, by the way, if you're listening to this as a podcast, we do broadcast live on Wednesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. So J Herb 5000, it's Madrak 2 with a Mauler, 2 Impalers, Max Fenblades with the UA, Min Stone with the UA, 2 units of Min Long Riders, Kithkar, Fellcaller, and Chronicler. So I'm kind of interested on the Impalers. No,
because the Mauler's Animus increases their strength. So now you've got strength 16 Impalers with Crit Slam that can Far Strike.
It also gives Madrak Far Strike.
Yeah, it also gives Madrak Far Strike.
Who doesn't love throwing that axe?
Yeah, very true.
Or
losing it. Sorry.
Yeah, shut up. Are you a troll or not?
Not
yet. Just because Boris lost it.
It's a Boris dig, not a troll dig.
Sorry, Matt. That's supposed to be mine and Fraser's axe, just so you know. Just so you know. And he lost
I had my own for a little while, then I had to give it away. It was never really mine, but...
Such a cool axe. So I like the Mauler with the Impalers. I think that's a good move. Plus the Mauler by himself is really solid at 15 points.
I think he's one of the most solid beasts we got for 50.
Point for point, the Mauler is very cool. So I like this energy there, and I like Far Strike on Madrak. With the Long Riders and the Fenblades, you're counting on them more for Madrak's feed, I think. but you can flank each side with the min unit of Long Riders and jam up the middle with Fen Blades. That's pretty scary.
That is. I wouldn't have thought with the Impalers, and he's saying it's their POW 17 under the stone. So.
Oh yeah, with the stone, they're 17. Yep.
Yeah, so that would make it even nastier.
Impalers aren't going to be up in the threat until they have to. Don't forget, Impalers are okay in melee. They have reach. They hit decently, especially with a little bit of buff. They're going to hit pretty well. But yeah, things with reach with Madrak too. Everything I think in his list has reach except for the stone, which is what you want to do when you have Crusher.
Yep.
I like it. I think it's got some potential. It's definitely worth trying. If Frank was still here, Frank, we miss you. He would find something wrong with it. But
I'm hard pressed every time I look at Madrak 2 and build lists to not add a Bulker and Shamblers.
There's something there, I think. We're Puritans, though.
I understand that. I'm not. I'm a dirty, horrible ginger with no soul.
I like the Witch Doctor.
Who plays Minoff?
Let's be honest. He doesn't play. The Beard plays. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
No, the beard is what's pulling him back to the Krells. Come on, you know you want to come back.
Good call. Good call. So
September 25th, I'm back to being the troll player.
So J-Herb, I like it. I would be very interested to see how it works for you if you've played it yet. If you're listening, I would love to hear feedback on that list because I like the way it feels, and it's something I could see myself at least toying with. So let me know. And if you don't want to post it online, post it. Send me an email. TheGreatBlaw@TrollbloodScrum.com. I'd like to know. I'd like to see how that one works.
Or put on the Facebook group or Facebook messages so all of us see it, not just Dallas.
There you
Keep
go.
all the secret tech to himself.
No, I want it all. I want to sound smart when we do the podcast.
I've been trying to do that for years. I mean,
well, I think that's done well. Let's just end off with one more final thing and talk about errata. So errata just came out. They toned down Madrak. We saw that coming. They toned down Assault and a few other things. A lot of the errata was just clarification, I think, to show intent rather than rules as written, which we've all played against players that argue versus ROI versus ROW. So with the new errata format, I like that they're willing to change to show intent and rebalance based on strength, which could hurt Madrak more in the future. But right now, I think he's okay. I think the one that affects us specifically was they changed Assault and they took Gunfighter away from Mountain King. And my initial reaction on the Mountain King was like, "What the heck, man?" But I think I've changed my tune a little bit. But let's hear what you guys think about those two changes specifically.
I wanted to ask you guys about that actually, because yes, they took away Gunfighter from the Mountain King, but doesn't it state somewhere that all Gargantuans and Colossals have Gunfighter? Or am I just really bad
have
remembering?
Gunfighter, but it does say all Gargantuans can shoot while in melee. so yes.
And there was one other thing I did notice in the errata was Doomshaper 1, his staff. They corrected it, so it now removes the Fury from enemy models. Because that wasn't stated before, and I know I was doing a little bit of list dojoing where I basically run a couple of Glacier Kings or something, have him come up behind and crack him in the back of the kneecap to just get that Fury right off him and calm him down.
They clarified it, but they also made it so you can really... So that's okay. We'll back up a little bit. So or I'll backpedal after we talk about Doomshaper. I think with the Doomshaper thing, some people were rule shenanigans off it. I think that change specifically shows intent. I like how strong that staff is if you get into melee. The only problem is if you're in melee with Doomshaper, something's gone horribly wrong. He's slow. His stats are bad. Unless they run one of their beasts up in or jacks up in, you can like neuter them good, so that your stuff can kill them. But if Doomshaper is base to base or within 2 inches of the enemy Warcaster, either they're not a good player or you've just about lost the game.
Or you're doing an alternative battle box.
Well, maybe, but even then, his defense 13, armor 15 is not good, and he's not going to survive.
Old man stats.
Yeah, he's not going to survive.
Hey,
so.
I killed Geterax with Sevi 2. Old man stats can still work.
Sevi 2's.
Well, to be honest, I also killed Sorsha 1 with Doomy 1 in melee, so...
It can. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying if
Saying
it
old
does
men carry
happen,
big
something's
sticks.
gone horribly wrong.
I'm just sensitive because I'm an old man, and being an old man, I like to think that I can still potentially put up an argument or a fight, or not
So
get
what
mugged in
you're
an
saying
alley.
is you feel a kinship with Doom Shaper. Is that what you're saying?
I feel a lot of kinship with Doom Shaper.
Right down to yelling at people to get off his lawn.
I love the Doomy One sculpt. That's perfect. So
And
okay, so now we backpedal into the gunfighter thing with the Mountain King. My initial reaction, and I think it was you, Corey. You got my initial Facebook reaction on that. My knee-jerk reaction wasn't good. I was pissed off. Then I read the rules, and Dan actually posted them on our Facebook group. And gargantuans can shoot while they're melee, anyways. So what they did is nothing. He had 2 rules that both said he could do the same thing, and gunfighter on his card was superfluous.
Now, just to step in here, JHerb5000 is in the chat again commenting. He said that with gunfighter, he could take a free strike with his spray. Is that true? If he could use his gun,
he could.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the reason they took away the gunfighter, so you're not getting a.
I think he's the only one that ever thought of that. Thanks, Herb. but
if I only knew, I would have been using that long ago.
But depending on what I'm free striking, I'm probably going to punch it anyways. So ultimately, with the way the Mountain King works, I don't think that really affects 99 out of 100 players. I don't think we even care. We can still assault in. We can still kill shot. We can still spray twice in a turn. They did change assault, so you can no longer assault if you're already in melee, which makes sense, right? So that's the other change to the Mountain King that initially made me upset. But again, I think if you're still alive and you're still engaged on your next turn, you can free him up to assault again if you need to, or you're just going to punch something to death anyways, kill shot, and be done with it. So I think for his points and what he does, the Mountain King's just fine. It doesn't change the way I play my Mountain King, and he's right there. So still in the case, still being taken to the shop.
It's because he's one of the best models in the game at power attack throw.
Yes, he is.
Power attack throw is so good now.
Well,
amen, brother.
Well, I've been making fun of Canadians, but I got some other Canadians that are finishing a Glacier King for me, and when I get my kings, so I can play them both in the same list at the same time, there will be a lot of Mountain King, Glacier King tag teaming going on in my list.
It'll be a beautiful thing.
I know that's a lot of points in a 75-point list, but dang it, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be glorious.
Hey, our last Mark II tournament, I bit the bullet. I went in with Doom Shaper and 3 kings, 2 glaciers and a mountain, and it wasn't great, but it was hilarious.
Well, we're gonna have the Sea King, so we're gonna be able to do We 3 Kings here pretty soon, and it's gonna be fantastic. Well, I think the Mountain King and Glacier King can do really well on a list. Their points, they take a lot of points, but with the right models to support and screen with those guys, I think you can really hold down a scenario with those 2 pretty good. So
Gunbjorn and Glacier King all the way.
Gunbjorn. So the list I've been making with the 2 is Gunbjorn, Dozer and Smig, Mountain King, Glacier King, and then pretty much you have very few points left for a little bit of support, but it's pretty good. Don't say it, Corey. It's good.
I got nothing.
So, all right. Well, I think we've hit our hour. You guys have listened to me ramble on plenty of times. I want to thank Corey and Drake for being on, and Fraser for keeping us going and making sure that I don't like mouth breathe too much into the mic. But
and we actually had one. We had one follow-up question regarding the case, so I'm going to jump in.
Sneak it there, man. You heard me ending it.
I know. I do every time. So,
all right.
There was a question. Did I have custom bases that are thicker than just the default black bases? These look like they would need they would only slot into a default height tray base, correct? So what he's asking is, and I think you covered this already, is that you can custom make some of these as well. So they could be slightly higher in height, can they not?
Correct. If he wants to contact me on the Facebook page or send me an email at mattkamloops at Facebook page. If he wants to message me on the Facebook page or through the Kickstarter, send me an email. I can respond to it, and if he can give me dimensions, I can make a mock one. Or if he tells me the site he purchased the base from, if he bought it online, I can buy one and then make a case for it.
There you go. He can custom make
Awesome.
any tray, is what he's saying.
My goal, our goal with these is to be brutally honest, is to make a gaming experience better, and that is it. If it means I have to customize and make for each and every player, that's the goal.
And
And
if
it's
you want, you can have a picture of my face on your tray going just like this.
Oh, the humanity.
That costs a lot extra.
I think with that bombshell, we're gonna. This is the TrollbloodScrum Scrumcast signing off.
Awesome.
That was well done, fellas. Thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for
Yes,
your time.
thank you.
Say what?
I was just say those things look fantastic.
Oh, I love mine. Did you guys put a hinge door in, or is it still the sliding door?
Still sliding door. Less is more.
Yeah, I think
you can't remove it yet, right? Because I mean, if you have to have room to actually take it out, so if you're in a tight space, just lifting it up makes more sense.
well, a hinge door adds. You have the big hinges, and then you have something to hold the door shut when you're not using it and transporting it. And I think it adds a lot of weight to the case. That was my only concern after Matt kind of pushed you guys that way, and I'm glad you didn't go that way. So very good. I like them. I like my case. I like my case a lot.
Yeah, Corey's good at it. He knows what he's doing.
So I'm very, very, very grateful. I tried very hard to make sure that Dan and Nate didn't try to get people to help me, and I think, to be frank, I probably would have stopped playing. I tried a few times to buy some things and get back into it, and they talked me out of it. But Lock and Load was going to be my last big hurrah, and then I was going to be done. And then it went to Lock and Load, and now I can't be done.
No, absolutely not.
You know how hard
That's the bonus of this community, right?
I've been playing this game since 2006. So
There you go. We've got you now. We're never letting you go.
Yep.
Never going to give you up.
lifetime.
Never going to let you down.
I'm not. I'm gonna give you up. Nice. All right. Well, thank you again, you guys, and I think you were great guest hosts. And if you would like to guest host again before your Kickstarter's over, I would love to. Hopefully, this gives you a boost. We'll get this up on YouTube in the next day, and then the podcast will go up in about 3 days. So in about 2 weeks, when you get into a close, if things are going well and you want us to help you give you another push, we'd love to have one or both of you come back on and talk about it some more, and we'll do some crackpot theory on the next one if you guys come on again in a few weeks.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very thanks.
And
Good luck to you.
one last thing. I have one last request as well, just because I'm pushing this on everyone who I talk to. If you haven't already, start using the battle reporter to track your games. I don't know if you
I got to report 4 games. Dang it.
me harassing everyone in like every Facebook group that I can sign up for. But it's basically
that's the Battle Reporter app, correct?
Yeah, it's not an app.
Well, it's a web page, but same thing. But
yeah, it's the link I shared with you because I actually got the password and everything from you just last week. So you were talking
I was
to me about
wondering
your
because
sister.
the area you're in, I'm thinking, is it the same guy? I don't remember.
Yeah, the email Dracos Dragoon. Yeah, that's me.
We need to
Perfect.
connect with the Europe guys that are doing something similar. But report all of your games, trolls or no trolls.
Oh yeah.
Well, the best part is, and I think it's only because we introduced this originally in Trolls back in the beginning of the year, but if you look at the number of reported games, there's over 200 games reported by troll players, and none of the other factions have even hit 100 by the reported games. Then we double that to get the reverse results and everything as well. But it's interesting that the troll players, and they also have the lowest win percentage of the games reported, which means they're getting closer to actually reporting the games accurately rather than
and I was going to
Legion
say that's
reporting
probably a
80%.
better reflection on the larger your sample size gets, the more accurate it becomes, because small sample
Agreed.
size means you've got guys that have only reported their good games and not all of their games. So
Exactly.
People have bad
Yeah, no.
games.
Yeah, Corey, the rest of us who aren't on Team Canada or anything, believe me,
Welcome to
a lot
our
of
world.
losses have gone in that. A lot of my losses have gone into those numbers, believe me.
I keep track of every game I play, and if I was reporting games back in 2007, I lost my first 32 games, and I only won 3 out of my first 50 games. So,
I had a really
I'm
rough
not-
second year. My first year was good. My second year was really rough for me. I started Reddit Mock 2.
this year's going good for me. I'm just saying. Mark III's been good to me, and I didn't play really at all until Mark III came out.
I have a question. since your mention is going weather, how much do you pre-measure?
I pre-measure everything.
Do you proxy base?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I think that's the difference between guys that were average before and guys that are even better is that proxy base everything.
So I've taken a lot of I had a lot of empty bases, and I'm cutting out pictures of from my old Mark II cards and just gluing them to the base, and because I love it. I absolutely love it. There's nothing better for me. I'm really good at statistics and numbers. They bounce around in my head all game, and so I know the odds of something happening. But I was never accurate enough on the distance measurements, and so what would kill me is my averages. My statistical probabilities would be good, and then I would miscue a charge, or I would miscue a move up for counter charge, and I would mess myself up, not because my strategy wasn't good, but because I couldn't freaking move enough. And pre-measuring has eliminated that for me completely.
Yeah, I played Resnick 1 and 3 Redeemers this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I shot 4 Caterers heavy off in the game because the guy just didn't pre-measure. He gave me a heavy early, and then he gave me another one. I'm like, oh my god, why do you keep letting me put Brand of Heresy on your jacks?
It's made me a much better game. It makes my light beasts very, very dangerous on the table, because I like slag trolls and night trolls and swamp trolls and fire trolls and storm trolls, and all of my light beasts are very good now. Because of pre-measuring. I can usually get more than my points back because of pre-measuring. So. Yeah,
and so far in Mark III, it's been hilarious to look on people's face when I turn around and I just suddenly start to measure out the Glacier King's range when he's got sniped with Gunny on him and he's sitting on a hill somewhere, and it's like, so I go this far and you die.
I've also found that's good. It's a different dimension to the psychological game, where everyone knows the distances now. It's not like a cat and mouse to try and figure out how far things are. Now that you can pre-measure, you can totally use pre-measuring to influence the other player's approach to the game, and you can get him to do things that you want him to do.
Just casually measure something out randomly while he's doing things, and just go, okay then.
Not randomly. Don't do it randomly. You do it with a purpose, but yeah.
Or at least look like you have a purpose and really make him think.
So, all right, guys, I gotta go feed the baby, so I'll talk to you all later. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And it'll be up on YouTube in about 20 minutes because I waste no time.
Awesome.
So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.